All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Forex Active Trader program. It's nice to be with you this week. Again, starting this evening, we will be discussing during the educational segment, end of the month, start of the month, and that's a lot more important than you might give it credit for. So we're going to discuss some of that and what we should be doing as traders. And it's not just making sure our charts and the servers are running. It's actually involving a lot more than that. Kind of an assessment. Tomorrow we will talk about 3 things that will boost your trading. Last week we talked about 3 things that could absolutely kill your trading. And so we want to keep that in mind that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. That I was in the market and said, oh no, and then right then the news came out. I realized it spiked like 25 pips in my direction, and I just closed it because it could be the news, could whip back 50 pips the other way. And that will happen from time to time. So sometimes it's good to have a little sticky about a couple of the key times in your time zone so you don't lose track of it, right? So will that happen? Will that continue to happen from time to time as you trade? Sure it will. Don't be put off by it though. Just, if you happen to have to take your lumps on it, take your lumps, you'll recover. All right. Please remember there is risk involved in trading the Forex as there is with any other financial instrument. Please use protective stops and make good trading decisions, and please respect the copyrights of the show. Like I said, we have our major support and resistance is still in place. There was no need to modify it from the higher time frames down at this point. So now let's look for negotiating a trade. So on the 1 hour, you can see the MACD way below the waterline, way below, and we have a. Do you see this? This to me is as ideal as a slingshot as we get. Don't forget there's an interest rate announcement on the dollar CAD in the morning, right? In the morning, I think it was 9 a.m. Eastern time. Let me look here. It is 9 a.m. Eastern time. Dollar CAD rate. So it might be a little bit of a slow night, but there's a really nice setup. We still have hours of time in here, hours of time. And that is the beauty of a slingshot. Now, we would expect the slingshot to do what? Remember, we want to think sometimes in mathematical formulas. Don't worry about that. Don't let that scare you. If you've always been kind of mathematically challenged, you're very good. 10 ones equals $10, right? 10 tens equals $100. All you got to do is equal. Right? Slingshot equals should be telling us continuation. We've had some money, we've had some profit taking, right? Slingshot equals profit taking, so therefore also equals continuation. So we're looking for a continuation to occur in here. And that's what the slingshot really does represent. So that's why when it comes back down to these lows, back down in here, we want to take some money off the table just in case it doesn't, in case it holds. So on the 60-minute, again, the moving averages here are very, very close. The MACD, again, you want to say that it's below the waterline. It's not giving us any other information right now. The MOS is telling us that there's a slingshot to the downside, and the EMAs are close. And what I want you to get here is the EMAs are close, close on 2 fairly good time frames, right? They're close on the 4 hour and they're close on the 60-minute, right? Yeah, and exactly, Walter. Good job. See, the MACD is not following the histogram over at this point. Well done. So there's a nice trade looking to set up here on the 1 hour. Now let's do this. We want to add. We're going to run the pivots on the 30-minute chart. Okay, we're going to run the pivots on the 30-minute chart to integrate what we've been talking about the last couple weeks. If they really muck with your mind and you say, oh my gosh, there's too much on the charts, send me an email. We'll see if we can work something out. But I want to begin, and I want to put them on the 30-minute because like we said, when we take it up to the daily chart, now that's mucking up the charts, right? But if we take this back to where it is and we just see his price setting up near a good level, yeah. So we have a huge slingshot double banded on the on the Moss right here, right? Huge double banded slingshot. The MACD is below the waterline. Now, is this close enough for a runway trade? No. No, 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 not at all. Not at all. Now, as we bring the overall pivots into play here, what are we butting up against? Yeah. Hey, Kaylin. Yeah, we're bumping up against a monthly and a weekly. So we have some really nice resistance here on the upside, on the top side of this trade, and there's a trigger that's about to come in on the 30-minute. So John, John, what I want you to focus on is if you happen to be in this trade and you got in on an earlier trigger, this is a 30-minute. What I want you to do is make sure you focus on is where that money flow line is. It's pretty deep down here. Right? This would have to totally take on a different picture and have a huge movement to begin to move this to the upside. Does that make sense, John? So this is pretty cool. I mean, that's why we came to the dollar CAD first. John asked about it. I took a look at it and said, man, that's a pretty cool setup on this pair. Looking to begin. Now, on the 15-minute, let's blend this in. Right? On the 15-minute, if we're taking a look at the MACD, we have a runway. We had a runway trade with an entry with the Moss. The Moss was in extremes earlier. It's nothing now. And, we're looking at these EMAs and they're heading down. So this might play in here a bit. It's pretty tight ranged. And we had a runway trade earlier, which, John, I'm supposing this is what you took. It had a really tight stop. So at this point, if we were to take a look at these trades, or this pair, I should say, there's nothing in here saying buy, is there? Does anyone see anything in here saying buy me now? No. There's not. It's actually saying to us, look, in the next 30 minutes, we might get a trigger with a slingshot to the downside. We might get a nice continuation of this move, yes, from the day before.